Hi, my name is Sheena, and I'm an oracle reader. We're going to channel a message here from God, Holy Spirit, and the holy angels. We are going to go ahead and take a closer look at the energy tied to the music playlist that I'm going to have attached to this video. There will be a link. It'll take you to a music playlist. You can listen to it. You don't have to, but it will give you a better idea of the energy that is applying to this message. We have Hanged Man showing up here, so some kind of cycle that you've been stuck in, something playing on repeat. This could be the same type of relationship in different individuals. Also, a little bit of background to the energy for this reading. Haunted houses could be significant as well. Haunted houses signify in nightmares, they signify family curses and generational cycles, okay, playing on repeat. We have the Strength making an appearance. I am going to put it back, but I just feel like, yeah, we have Two of Cups. I feel like you've had to be really strong to be around the relationships and the connections that have been around you, because there was a song that came on by accident that I did attach to your playlist by Madonna, and it was called I Don't Know. Or no, was it called I Know? But either way, she was talking about how, is this what love is supposed to feel like? And I know you're going to take your love and run. I want you to get your love far away from me. And so I feel like this is the energy of, it's almost like a really selfish individual, an abusive, emotionally immature individual. I don't want to say the word narcissistic, but that's kind of what's coming across here. And this person could have addictions. They don't have to, but it could apply to why holidays and birthdays seem to be a trigger or an upset that this person feels a need to go after or attack. This could be somebody that when you try to communicate with them, they attack you harder. Okay, instead of hearing your concerns, hearing your needs. And so there is no possible growth for this connection. This doesn't have to be romantic. It could be a platonic connection. It could be a mother. It could be a best friend. Okay, it doesn't have to be a romantic partner, but it can be. We have the Five of Pentacles. It did come out in the reverse position, but when I flipped it over, it was in the upright. So, I feel like this could be poverty, this could be lack, this could be scarcity that's plagued your bloodline for generations. I do feel as though you, being the cycle breaker, I feel like you have had a strong connection with God. See how there's the church in the background. This could even be from a very young age. But I'm feeling as though this could be illness as well. This could be something that's passed down through the generations to kind of keep you trapped in this dependency and abusive connections, or this inability to be able to provide for yourself on a level that allows others to mistreat you in, I heard, chronically obsessive ways. And I feel like this has been embedded into your subconscious, that when you fight back, somebody may have convinced you that you deserve the mistreatment. Okay, let's find out more. I feel like there is balance coming in because the Two of Pentacles has tried to come out a few times. We have the World showing up here as well. You could be somebody who's starting to speak out more or to get some kind of recognition. This could be something that's coming in, a gift from God, that is allowing you a level of protection. Because I don't know if you can see that greenish white glow around this woman. There's some kind of protective energy in her aura that has to do with recognition or some kind of voice. Okay. We have the Knight of Cups showing up. This could be some kind of love message, but again, with the energy of Madonna, I was feeling like this might not be this, although this is probably the only love you've known, this is not actually what true love is like. And so God is wanting to show you what actual love is like. What can you tell us here, please, about the viewer and the situation? We have the Three of Cups came out right in the reverse. Your community has been toxic. Your community has been doing more harm towards you than good, blocking you and telling you it's love. We have the Nine of Cups in reverse, blocking you and telling you it's love. Why aren't you fulfilled? I've been breadcrumbing you. You should be full. Selfish. Only worried about their own creations, their own wishes that they're calling in, their own well-being. Putting up this front for others that they're so caring, that they're offering you so much stability. Meanwhile, holding resentments, verbally casting doubt and even abuse your way. We have the Two of Wands showing up here. This is talking about decisions, planning, looking ahead. You get to decide who you love. You get to decide how you will be loved. There is a factor of financial abuse here. Yeah, look, I just pulled out the Devil card. There is a factor of financial abuse here where, because of this person's scarcity, possibly from when they were a child, they've convinced themselves that there's never going to be enough. They fantasize about all the negative things that could happen. And there was also this energy of scapegoating, right? And a spiritual scapegoat used to be somebody that people would come together and they would cast their sins, their fears, their doubts, their nightmares onto an individual, or a goat in this case. And then they would sacrifice this animal or this person to their god. In exchange for forgiveness, in exchange for blessings, in exchange for a cleansing of their sins without actually having to do the work. Okay, so this is something that in modern times is still practiced. It's practiced heavily in families. It's often called the black sheep, but the scapegoat is the person that is blamed for every burden, stressor, misfortune. Okay, so there's something here about you being the scapegoat and therefore having to financially pay these bullies, almost like a child that's being shaken down for their lunch money every day. Okay. And it's demonic. It doesn't matter the vessel that this is showing up in, the spirit is what's shaking you down and trying to convince you it's love. Page of Pentacles shaking you down. Meanwhile, you might not even feel like you can breathe. The little astronaut hat. We have the Seven of Pentacles and the Chariot in reverse. None of your projects or ambitions, none of your investments are prospering because of this energy that's take, 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 take. You could be somebody that figured out how to make investments in other ways, maybe non-tangible ways, things that seem useless to the outside eye. I'm kind of picking up on the parable of Jesus and the seeds, where he cast out the seeds and some take root, but others are gobbled up by the enemy. And how his parables were almost coded for interpretation of God's people only. The enemy heard it and thought it was nonsense. Four of Wands, the home, family, marriage, all the important things, relationships. I know people think we come here to have the biggest house and the best car and all the materialistic, fanciful things, but it's relationships that make life worth living. It's the quality of your relationships that you should be seeking to balance out the most. And if that means getting rich and getting as far away as possible from the toxic individuals, then do that. I saw on Facebook this morning there was a post that I had reshared, and it was talking about the study on rats and addiction, and how when they changed the environment of the rat, it was less likely to choose the water with the addictive substances in it. It was like the rat had a purpose to live. It had a better quality of life once the environment was changed. Seven of Swords, Ten of Cups in reverse. This is an unhappy home. This is somebody stealing from you. It could be on an energetic level. They could be stealing your faith, mocking you for your faith. They could be stealing your passion for life. Every time you have an idea or a passion or an ambition, they find a way to block you, to take it from you. Okay, and this doesn't necessarily have to be just because people are evil. This is because they're weak vessels that the enemy is using to block you, to manipulate you. Put a candle in the window was one of the songs. It was a lyric from one of the songs that had come through. And so if the enemy has closed every door on you, God is going to open a window. Put a candle in the window to find your way home. There's something significant here. It could mean something different for each of you. Okay, be careful though. There's also symbolism in the music videos about a house burning down. I am the fire starter. Hey baby.
Hi, Mom.
I'm recording, okay? So, shh. I am the fire starter, so stand back. You might get burned. You could be somebody who's speaking out on the wrongdoings of the people that have been working against you. You could be somebody who's had enough. You've reached your capacity, and to the outside world, it might even look like a break. But you spoke no lie. You spoke no lie. There was nothing but truth in what is being exposed. There's darkness within this family that's being exposed. Because once they come face to face, they have a choice. They can repent, or they can continue to be the most unfortunate version of themselves. Missed opportunity. Okay? A missed opportunity to fulfill their potential as a child of God and the best, most gifted version of themselves. Okay, let's get some oracle cards here. Let's see. Which one am I feeling drawn to? What does viewer need to know today? Let me split these. Causing drama, then putting the blame on her, saying she's the drama queen. Baby, turn that down, please. It's very distracting to me. Quietly undermining her success and happiness to keep her reliant on him. Creating rifts between her and her support system to make her dependent. Spreading rumors or tarnishing her image to isolate her from others. Okay. The inappropriate admirer. That's a card on the bottom of the deck. The dream crusher. Oh, interesting. Interesting, because dreams of haunted houses are family curses, and the main song that came through for us today is called Nightmare. And in that music video, the symbolism shows a hunter who's hunting people. And how in the end he becomes the hunted. How it's his prey that ends up to ultimately become the hunter. And I feel as though this could have dual meaning. This could be you're the hunter as in the demon slayer. You're the one that's casting out these demons and sending them back to Jesus Christ to be handled in the manner that God decides. Or you could become the hunter as in hurt people, and you yourself could become the scorned woman that hurt you so deeply. Or man, scorned man, take it however it applies. But when we cannot find resolution, solution, or reason behind the heartache, we often become scorned, bitter, even resentful. Sometimes our addictions take over and we become versions of ourselves that we never expected to be. diminishes her ideas and tells her they won't work to keep her dependent on him. The dream crusher dismisses her ambitions, telling her that they're unrealistic or unimportant. His negativity stifles her growth and keeps her from pursuing her passions. By undermining her dreams, he ensures she remains focused on him instead of herself. True freedom comes when she rejects his criticism and follows her heart. Rise above his shadow. Stand firm in your goals and refuse to let negativity hold you back. Seek support from those who uplift and encourage your ambitions. Walk away from anyone who diminishes your potential or dreams. And you might be somebody who only has God that believes in you. Because in your music video, what came out was, in your music playlist, one of the songs is called Never Change or something like that. And I also know that you got 2 songs called All My Life. And so I know you've been dealing with, it's almost like a brainwashing where they want you to believe that you're hard to love for your entire life. Simply because you refuse to put up with abuse and neglect and disrespect. You could be somebody who's very gifted with communication. God wants you to know that you're gifted in communication. Okay. And there's something here about, I heard misunderstanding. They want you to misunderstand who you are, who God created you to be. But God doesn't want you to ever change who you are. Never, ever change who you are. That's what this demonic energy wants. It wants you to change who you are so that you hurt the next generation. So that you become hardened like the world. Keeping her in a stagnant relationship with no intention of commitment. Okay, this could be somebody who wastes your time, finds tasks to fill your time. I'm picking up on Cinderella and her step family not allowing her to go to the ball. Filling it with mediocre chores and trivial, what is it called? Like annoyances that they make into this huge thing that you have to address right away. No woman should endure toxic abuse, recognize manipulation, set boundaries, and walk away for freedom. Okay, you could be somebody that in your family it's been taught that as long as somebody is paying your bills, that gives them free reign to disrespect and abuse you. Okay, and if you speak up, if they go to jail, if they go to jail because you couldn't handle the pain that they were inflicting on you, and then the bills go unpaid, that's your fault. That's your fault because you couldn't take the beating. There are parents that teach this to their children, and I know because I was one of them. And you think you carry your family through the deepest rivers and the hottest fires, and you think even when you're the child and you get your family to the other side and you think that there's healing, and they go and they repeat the cycle with someone else. This demonic energy, right? It's a familiar spirit. You think, oh, I can talk to this person all night and I feel like I've known them from another lifetime. No, it's the spirit that raised you. It's just showing up in this friend or this lover or this coworker to trigger something in you. Rise above his shadow. The best way to handle a shadow man is to separate his toxic behaviors from his soul. Recognizing that his actions are fueled by darkness allows you to detach from the manipulation without losing yourself. Okay, so detach from it and know that it's a demonic tactic. Apologizing insincerely to end the argument but not changing their behavior. Ooh, and there was a mask in that music video called Nightmare. At the end, when the hunted became the hunter, he put on the mask. Chasing the beautiful girl he can never possess, own, or control. This person cannot control you because you will destroy their fucking reputation. It's cute that they think they can control you, especially with bullying and toxic, abusive control tactics. I've already dealt with worse than you. That's the lyric in the music. I've already dealt with worse than you. You don't scare me. Let's look at the Wicked Desires Oracle. Look at these this flames. It says the burial. They're hiding the evidence of their love. Is this what love is supposed to feel like? I can't tell this is love. It's hot. It hurts. It's burning me. It's killing me. I can't breathe. The smoke from all the smoke and mirrors is entering into my lungs, and it's singeing the inside of my organs. Devoid of light, someone is preying on your energy. Interesting that we're talking about the singeing of organs, and here's a mummy, which I believe has their organs removed. Interesting, because your music video in Nightmare, he's eating organs. The first thing that stood out to me in that music video as well was the chandelier made of deer antlers. Because I was watching a video yesterday randomly about deer shedding their antlers. They just like shake their head vigorously, and the antlers fall off. Someone is preying on your energy, devoid of light. One of your songs was also called As Long As I Can See the Light by Creedence Clearwater. As long as I can see the light, I'm going to find my way home. This person could be watching you closely. They could be monitoring your finances, thinking, why do they have that? They don't deserve that. They should have gave that money to me. Which is just another form to keep you dependent on that same person, right? The clown, they'll put on a show for you. Dark intentions, they are secretly jealous and obsessed with you. Silent revenge, someone is holding on to a grudge. Okay, so this could be somebody who's obsessed with watching your every move. They want you to be perfect in everything that you do. Wait, what was that card? I forgot what I was saying. They're obsessed with your perfection, right? They want you to be perfect. But if you were to apologize for something, they would use that as a reason to destroy you, to break you down, right? But if they mess up, they want you to instantly forgive them because they said sorry. Ghost train, your soul waits for them every lifetime. Okay, so this could even be a connection from a past life. Something that I thought was interesting recently that had come up in my energy, someone was speaking, I'll see if I can link her video or her name here, but she was talking about, I think it was called Momsplaining, and she was talking about how the Salem witch trials were not about religion or witchcraft at all. In fact, they were actually about property. It was a property grab, that the accusers would often be able to keep the property of the woman that had inherited the property either from her husband or her family. And I thought that was so interesting that the accusers got to keep the property. Because I was in a similar situation like that, and causing drama and putting the blame on her, saying she's the drama queen. And I was tremendously scapegoated. And my cards were telling me for years that it had to do with a past life that was coming back. Some kind of lesson to be resolved from a past life. And I couldn't understand until I heard that woman speak on that. That this energy wants to take your home because not only does it want the next generation, because if it can impact their environment, it can control their addictions and their dependency on toxic and abusive individuals. Okay, but also if it takes your property and shames you out of your belief system, out of your faith, out of your passions, if it controls your environment to the point where you cannot grow, you cannot expand, you cannot move from the tiny cage that you were placed in, it thinks it can control you. It thinks it can limit your potential, that it can steal your dreams and your faith. But both come from God. Both are for God. And it's a reciprocity between you and the divine. It is the covenant between you and God that cannot be shaken by the enemy unless you choose to give it away. Okay, let's see from this oracle here that I have for protecting your energy. Oh geez, I'm burning myself. And it's just the flame is hot. I'm not actually burning myself, but this flame over here is hot that I have on my candle. Get back, you might get burned. I am the fire starter. We got the devil. Oh, it's hot. We got the devil here on the bottom of the deck. What does it say? The devil chases the beautiful girl he can never truly possess, seeking to dominate and control her. His obsession stems from his inability to create his own light. His obsession comes from his inability to create his own light, leaving him reliant on consuming hers. His actions are a reflection of his emptiness, not her worth. Letting go means freeing herself from his grip and reclaiming her power. Rise above his shadow. Recognize his obsession as a reflection of his own insecurities. Refuse to let his darkness diminish your inner light. Walk away and embrace the freedom of living in your power and truth. He's envious of your light. He can't make his own light. He had to leave that in heaven. And another energy that was coming up. So I know somebody who failed a major spiritual test lately. And they were telling me how they can understand animals. The animals speak to them and they have this telepathic connection. And I told them, yeah, that's a type of empath. They have shielding. An animal empath. Fauna, right? And just a few days later, they had the opportunity to understand an animal, the root cause of a problem related to an animal. And rather than understand, they threatened to shoot this animal. Simply to hurt me, by the way. This is somebody who had the potential to be an angel on earth, an earth angel, and they chose to be a fallen angel through this failed spiritual test. You see that window? You see the window? Put a candle in the window. As long as I can see the light, I'll find my way home. Let the light in. Let the light in. And speak up. Okay, you could be in a situation, because in one of the songs, my friend sent me the song called Scorned Women. I sent her the song by Creedence Clearwater, As Long as I Can See the Light. At the same time, she sent me the song called Scorned Woman. And in that song, he says, the judge said 50-50, but the math ain't right. And one of my people who likes to keep me confined and blocked, one time they said when I was speaking up and defending myself that, how would you like a 5150 for Christmas? And I wasn't being unkind. I wasn't being disrespectful. I was simply saying with a boundary, hey, you cannot treat me that way. The way you're seeing it is inaccurate and let me correct you. How would you like a 5150 for Christmas? They said. And that was about 2 years ago, and I have not been speaking up. I've just been putting my headphones on. I'm not available for you to enter my doorways, my windows to my soul. Okay, they're here. They're here. Here's another one. This one's exit only. Okay? Comes from the soul. The words are coming from the soul. Where are theirs coming from? We got protection here. Crystals could be significant for your protection. They want to sacrifice you as a scapegoat, but it just made you the greatest of all time. Yeah, under the influence. This could be somebody who suffers from substance abuse. This could be somebody who suffers from substance abuse while simultaneously condemning everyone around them for suffering from their own downfalls, addictions, dependencies. And this is somebody who has a lot of karmic lessons to learn. This is somebody who's going to judge harshly and then be put in situations where either they have to go through the same lesson or someone really close to them will. We have spirit guides and meditate. Okay, a connection to God. When you're in these kinds of toxic environments, these abusive relationships, it's non-negotiable. Because these individuals are going to try to distort your reality on a basis so severe that it will shake your entire ego. And it could actually cause you to want to end it in the most severe end of things, right? And on the lighter side of things, it could just really keep you from reaching who it is that God created you to be. You could end up in some 9-to-5 that think that that was the best that you could have done for yourself in this lifetime, and God had so much more for you. But you chose not to go after it because you couldn't hear your angels speaking over the voice of the enemy. Okay, so focus on some time for meditation. Okay, gratitude. Opening up the window, letting the light in. Having a hot flash. All right, let's see what else we got here. Anything else before we go? Ooh, we have cult. Unseen forces showing up. There's unseen forces that could be manipulating an entire group of people here. We have spiritual attachments. Negative or dark entities attached to a person, draining their energy and causing feelings of fear, anxiety, or oppression. This can happen during moments of vulnerability or through negative spiritual practices. Okay, and there's something here also, a lesson that I had to go through recently. Return to sender candle, right? I put all the protection on myself. Don't take me as somebody that didn't know what I was doing, okay? Return to sender candle. I prayed over it for 6 to 8 weeks. And when it bounced back, it wasn't directed towards the people that were closest to me, but there were some people close to me that it did hit. And it happened, but not until I finished the candle and I left the environment. Okay, I left the environment to go on a trip, and that's when it hit the household, the appliances, right? It even impacted their ability to fix it through an insurance company. Like everything that could go wrong did go wrong, and several appliances broke at once. And now I returned back from my trip, and I had to pay their karma because I was in the environment. It didn't hit until I left the environment. But when I came back and I returned to that connection, I returned to that environment, I had to pay their karma with them. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. Also, when something attacks your hand, especially if it's a hand that you earn money with, that's a signal of witchcraft. Black magic done against you to limit your success, your future, your prosperity, and it wants your kids. It doesn't want you. You're already broken. You're already old. You're already sick. You're already broke, right? It wants your kids. And if it can convince you to give up your faith, to give up your worship, to give up your dreams, and if it can convince you to be dependent on the same system that's hurting you, it can have them. Vengeful sorcery. We got hoodoo spells showing up as well. Occult trap. What is that? Spiritual or magical rituals that create traps, ensnaring a person in difficult situations or psychic conflicts. This could be like, for example, if you're somebody that struggles with stress triggering chronic illness, okay? The demonic know how to trigger that to get you in bed so that you can't work, so that you can't spend time with your kids, so that you're in so much pain you have to disassociate from some of the most meaningful moments and memories of you and your children's life. It's a trap, but I'm also picking up on mousetrap. False mask, the facade we put on to avoid showing our true selves, leading to inner conflict and spiritual blockages. Yeah, in that music video, there was a mask involved. There was a mask. You might have to mask who you truly are. That might be what these energies are wanting from you. They want you to mask who you truly are, to walk on eggshells, to have a fear of being perceived. So even doing a load of laundry, you have intense anxiety about being attacked for it. And then when you have piles of laundry piling up, they don't understand why you're afraid to do laundry. So they talk about how gross you are for it. That kind of energy. The facade we put on to avoid showing our true selves, leading to inner conflict and spiritual blockages. You know what I'm picking up on? That was curses and hexes that I just looked at. And deterioration spells. You know what I was picking up on was the mousetrap that Cinderella uses. You know how it's like not violent. She just pulls the mice out and gives them new clothes and a new life and a new name. And she's like, hey, you're a rehabilitated rat now. We have hexes, curses, and deterioration designed to weaken, decay, or deteriorate someone's health, wealth, or position in life over time. This could be somebody that every time you got a raise, they convinced you that you owed the money to them for something. Then just come to find out years later that where the roles were reversed and they owed you that money. Let's just say, for example, babysitting. Let's just say, for example, childcare. I need that money because I'm not working, because I'm taking care of your kids. Then years later, the roles are reversed and you're babysitting all the time and they just don't seem to feel like they need to pay you because you already owe them everything. I'm sorry, aren't you a loser that doesn't have anything? I'm sorry, aren't you somebody who needs me to exist? I don't remember you asking my permission to exist. Anyways, this message isn't going to be for everybody. It's going to take a really strong individual to be able to overcome spiritual warfare like this. And that's why God doesn't want you to ever change. We got bad health coming out. Yeah. Ailment, restriction, isolation. If they can make you cry, then you're not going to get any work done, right? I think that was in one of your songs. They were saying something like, you're not going to make me cry. I know you want to make me cry, but you're not going to this time. False person, mystery, deceit, hidden agendas. You don't even know how much they hate you. Because you would think, oh, logically, like they have no reason For some of you, this is because you were given a God-granted person. Is it Genesis 2:22? I know it's 2:22 in the Bible, where God takes the rib from Adam and creates Eve. There's something here about divine partnership. Ooh, coffin. How the enemy is trying to go after you simply because it's trying to end this partnership that you have. But if you're a child of God, you're saying your prayers, you're doing your protection rituals, this is going to bounce back and it's going to hit more than their appliances next time. And this isn't you being revengeful. This isn't you wanting that to happen. You could be somebody who has been giving out warnings, right? It's spiritual warnings that come from God, that you're simply the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger, and don't shoot her puppy either. The devil wants your marriage. The enemy wants your kids. They want to see your bloodline in poverty, because that's what keeps people stuck in addiction and trauma and cycles that keep them from being who God wanted them to be. You could be somebody on social media, you and your partner. Okay, you could have an online business that this enemy wants to prevent from taking off. Yeah, main female. Because you're a significant player in a lot of stories. You remind other people of their light, that light that the devil is so jealous of. And if you light up 100 people, and they light up 100 people, and then they light up 100 people, the enemy really has a problem. Not good enough. Judgmental. You're not good enough because of this. Now be afraid to be seen. You see how the enemy uses people around you so that you have this fear of being perceived to keep you off of social media? You think my friends and family, my lovers, the people closest to me, I wasn't good enough for them. Why would I be good enough for strangers online? Why wouldn't these people in the world treat me just as terribly as everybody else? We have divine connection. God brought in a partner for you to show you what love actually feels like, so that you could turn around and see these other connections for what they are, which is a false love, an untrue love, a conditional love based on how much materialistic whatever you can bring them, right? We got blessings. There's something here about the feather that's really significant, because I was picking up on Psalm 91, the feathers falling down, God's protection, his wings over you, right? And also the dream catcher. I was looking at the significance of the spider web and how it captures the bad energy, the bad dreams, and how the good dreams filter through the feathers. I don't know. There's something here about that. You might want to look into making dream catchers, getting a dream catcher. We have apology here. Your cards were indicating that they're not always sincere, but I want to believe that this is going to be a sincere apology, especially if you find ways to speak up. Yeah, we have closed and soulmates. Even sad birds sing. You could be somebody who's keeping a journal about everything that's happening. We got truth here. Truth is, I love you, says the karmic connection. Okay, listen to God coming through with truth through music. Because as somebody who has dealt with severe spiritual warfare and abuse over the last several years, especially, and while simultaneously fighting a life-threatening disease and being on my deathbed, even having to learn to walk again after a year in a wheelchair. So many times people wanted to paint me as the bad guy, make me the villain of their story, beat me down harder for simply having the audacity to stand up for myself or my children in the face of abuse and torture. Songs came through at the most perfect moment with lyrics that played. It was just so magical, and it happened probably thousands of times now. I know people want to paint me as crazy for that, but it's undeniable. I kept a record of it. That could be why this journal is showing up here. I kept a record of it, and I even have witnesses that can tell you on behalf of my testimony that there's something there. God, source, bottled at the source. Looking at the word source on this bottled water, this toxic plastic water bottle that they convinced us has our life force within it, right? But this life force has been seeping in chemicals and plastics and toxins that were never meant for us. But drink up, because it's all I have. I know it's temporary. We got locked here. You could be locking down your heart. You could be saying you don't have access to me or my spirit at this time. And timing is showing up. It was in the reverse, so I feel like time is up. I feel like God is going to lift you out of the grave. This is another lyric in one of your songs. I think it was called Amen. We have coffee maker, awakening energy and clarity coming in. Okay, this could be a meeting place of the apology, but what I'm picking up on is somebody's going to be going through a pretty tough spiritual awakening here, because either they wanted your destiny for themselves and they tried to take it. They may have even shamed you for the end result of what happened when you gave away your destiny, your finances, or your peace, your stability, your ability to have a home. They may have even thrown that in your face and used it as more of a valid reason to mistreat you, because you're a loser. Of course, you're a burden to them. Something important is currently brewing in your life. I don't know what I'm picking up on with this coffee maker. I was kind of feeling like the energy of vinegar, because I use vinegar to clean my coffee maker. So I feel like something about clearing the way for this awakening. We got mirror and bouquet. Gift, invitation, joy, and beauty. You have a gift or invitation coming soon to brighten your day. And you have triggers and mirroring. Situations are revealing parts of you that still need acceptance. And interesting that the chandelier is reflected through the mirror. Just like the antler chandelier in that music video. And maybe the hunter thinks that he has to hunt down these deer to be able to create his chandelier for his light. Ooh, for his light. Because he's jealous, the devil's jealous that you have light that he cannot have for himself. But if given time, the deer would have shed his antlers naturally in a non-painful way. Actually, don't know if it's painful, but I assume because it's natural, the deer's just, when it's ready, it just comes out like a tooth or something. Toaster, pop-up, sudden, emerging. Get ready for a delightful surprise that will bring you much joy. So I do feel like there is brighter days coming. Protect your light. Okay, protect your energy. Anything else before we go? I want to pull one of these karma cards, because like I said, if you continue to go back to this connection or this environment, you will have to pay for this person's karma as well. We got relationship here, love connections falling apart. So after you leave this environment, you're not going to be able to be the scapegoat anymore. So all of the problems that are inside other connections, they're going to start coming to the surface, and people are going to start having falling outs, arguments, and turmoil that they're not going to be able to blame you for anymore. We also have employment showing up. Issues finding work. It says unemployment dependency, okay, is really important here. It says temporary work, stress, loans, and overlooked. This person could have trouble finding jobs, or they could be overlooked at work. Whatever it is bringing them a lot of stress. And woe to the demons that try to take what God gives to you directly. That's something I posted this morning, and we have legal woes showed up here with the law. So woe to the demons that are trying to take what is not theirs. Because the popos are here. Watch that reputation of yours. Don't get too close to the fire. You could get burned. I am a fire starter. We got on blast. And an unexpected debt of bad luck. They could have repented. We got domestic violence showing up here. They could have repented. They could have done what God asked them to do out of love. We got healing love showing up here. Bad health. Okay, you could be somebody who is fighting a medical condition, and it's not okay. God does not like it when people abuse the sick, the elderly, or children. Okay, God doesn't like ugly. And this is a bad debt that's being accumulated, and it's going to be paid out through the form of misfortune and bad luck. And I don't wish that on anybody, especially the people I love. We got conditional self-love. But I'm not going to sacrifice the love I have for myself just so that you can feel better about what you're doing. It says, loving oneself based on achievements, appearance, or external validation rather than intrinsic worth. I can't say it. I release external expectations and embrace my intrinsic worth with love. You stand in front of the mirror. Ooh, interesting, because that mirror card. You stand in front of the mirror, assessing yourself through the lens of achievements and flaws. This love feels fleeting, tied to meeting impossible standards. Yet you begin to see that your worth isn't defined by conditions, but by the unique essence of who you are. Conditional self-love teaches you about breaking free from external validation. It invites you to embrace yourself, imperfections and all. Experience this love. Write down 3 ways you can nurture unconditional self-love today and commit to embracing them fully. These decks, by the way, I got them from pureloveandbeyond.com, or she has an Etsy shop. They've been really helpful during this reading, don't you guys think? So you guys can check out her shop. I believe it's a fairly new shop. Okay, closing out messages. What's coming towards you? What's coming towards the viewer? We got romance showing up. Luck in reverse. Stay away from those connections, especially because there is real love and romantic times coming your way. Don't allow this enemy or these spiritual attachments to break you away from your God-granted partner. Okay, because that's a motive, that's a thing, that's something that's happening. We got mastering a skill. You could be feeling called to bead together some jewelry, especially if you have some, oh, I bit my lip, especially if you have some protective crystals that can really assist you at this time. We got man here, and it almost looks like he has some charms in his braids, so that could be something that applies to you as well. Okay, we have court case. Winning a court case, honoring ancestors, and networking. And then we got shadow work showing up. And then again with the mirror energy, you could benefit from speaking affirmations into the reflection in your mirror. But I'm also kind of picking up on, there's a card that I have in another deck, and it has a mirror and it has a demon in it. It says demonic perspective. And I feel like, don't allow this fallen angel energy to dictate your self-worth, who you are, what you're capable of, and who God created you to be, because you're not supposed to ever change. And I want you to remember that these evil energies do like to whisper rumors and gossip and manipulation into the ears of the people we love. And you gotta be stronger. You got to be stronger than the trap. Okay? Don't let them make you cry, because that's going to keep you from moving forward. It's going to keep you from this cash. Okay? Anything else before I go? Okay. Focus on your healthy diet and get the hell away from hell. God loves you. Speak loving messages over yourself and treat your body like a temple, filling it with good food, good water. Look out for those microplastics. Brighter days are coming.